New at 6, we are digging into the cases shelved by Houston police just hours after Chief Troy Finner answered our questions about those 264,000 incident reports.
Yeah, this afternoon, the chief updated us on their internal review of the reports. Finner says their investigators have reviewed a third of the suspended cases. Also, nearly all of the 4,000 adult sex crime reports have now been reviewed. Finner says roughly 75% of those reports had no workable leads.
As we said, we would do a thorough review and work our way through each and every incident. Again, 264,000 incidents. Some people may look at this as negative. I don't. It is a fact and it's evidence that our process is working.
Well, today's update comes 6 weeks into that internal investigation.
A lot of numbers there, but what about the people? KHOU 11 Investigates discovered that 30 charges have recently been filed in these suspended cases.
However, get this, the vast majority of those had solid workable leads from the very beginning.
KHOU 11 Investigates' Jeremy Rogowski has the exclusive story for us tonight. Jeremy.
Me and Len court records show in nearly all of those 30 cases, the victim knew the suspect and gave police the name. And in many, police also had a photo from the get-go, or there was video surveillance of the crime. But they sat and went nowhere for months, even years.
Oh, it was a slam dunk case.
That's what Grant Farley thought 2.5 years ago after he met his boss at this bar in the Heights and says a business dispute turned into a violent attack with a broken beer mug.
But then he picks up the shard of glass and lunges for my face, and I raised my hands up in defense.
Farley got stabbed and went to the ER for stitches and then filed a report with HPD.
I provided his name, his address, his birthday, his place of business. I knew there was video evidence here at the bar.
But despite having that info, Houston police suspended the case for lack of personnel.
Frustrated, extremely frustrated.
They just charged Joshua Naris with aggravated assault 2 weeks ago. KHOU 11 Investigates discovered it's one of 30 charges that were filed since mid-February when the suspended case scandal broke. In nearly all, 87%, records show police had a suspect's name. There's Adrian Garcia Jr., now charged with assaulting his pregnant girlfriend, even though last May she originally told police she knows him by name and sight when he allegedly kicked her in the stomach. But HPD suspended the case for lack of personnel. Or there's Pablo Martinez. Police knew he was a suspect last October because the victim was his wife, and cops were even flagged down by a witness. In that incident, HPD suspended the case the very next day.
Chief, is that acceptable?
I'll be the first to tell you it's not acceptable.
We also found several suspended cases in which the known suspect was not arrested and went on to get charged with another crime. Like Keontae Deason, police had his name and photo last February after he allegedly took a woman's car with her child and belongings inside. HPD shelved the case. Deason remained out on the street and about a year later was charged with doing the same thing to another woman, taking her belongings and her children away.
It should frustrate everybody. It really should. And as I stated numerous of times, we want to make sure we clean it up and we fix it and make sure this doesn't happen again.
And as reported earlier this week, guys, HPD had DNA matches in nearly 100 adult sex crime cases that were suspended for lack of manpower. An HPD commander today told us that DNA swabs of known suspects are being collected. The goal is obviously to gather everything, present those cases to the DA's office soon.
So many numbers, justice delayed. Now you're digging into who these people were and what happens next. Thanks,
and the
Jeremy.
victims are affected.
Wow.
Just touching the surface. Thank you, Jeremy.
Sure.